I had like a pit in my stomach, like, oh my gosh. And I was like, that's not good enough. I need to know if I have a future. I thought maybe I pulled something. But then I woke up and all of a sudden there was basically a golf ball above this clavicle pretty much overnight. I called an ENT because I knew that it wasn't something normal at that point, that it came overnight. I was like, I would like to get a scan. And the ENT said, I'll see you basically in 6 months. And I was like, well, it came overnight, so in 6 months, I don't think I'll be here. But I couldn't help but to think, like, we're 30 years old. This isn't what he was probably thinking a year ago whenever we got together, that this is what we're going to buckle up for.
I was in the ER room when the doctor came in and gave her a diagnosis. I would say shock was definitely the number one emotion, probably for both of us. But, you know, one, because she was so young and healthy. I mean, we went to the gym quite a bit and we ate pretty good, and we were active people. And yeah, it was just shock in the beginning, and then, you know, quickly turned to fear.
We imagined this life, and then this comes, and it wasn't part of the plan, obviously, for anybody.
I think we were just very stunned because I didn't expect to hear that. So, yeah, it was like a punch in the face.
And it's like a bit of a bomb gets dropped, and, well, hang on a second. As of right now, everything changes.
Because everything's running through your head, you know, chemotherapy, losing my hair, how long am I going to live? Am I going to live long enough to meet, you know, see my kids grow up? My original hematologist told me that my prognosis was 10 years with treatment. Then I got home and looked at my kids and started calculating how old they were going to be in 10 years' time. And that's what was waking me up in the night, because all I could think of was that I can't accept this. I need to be there. I need to meet my grandkids.
Of course, I went down every bad road that there was.
You know, she's been always very healthy and vibrant and energetic, and so you're kind of thrown back by it.
I remember the doctor said to me, Google indolent. And so Craig went off straight away and Googled indolent, and then he came running back in and he said, don't go on Google and don't Google anything. So I was banned from Googling, but I don't know what he read. But it was a very shocking moment.
Milissa really wanted to do a lot of researching on the phone and on her computer, and I just think that's her nature. And she would say that would help kind of ease her mind. But I felt differently about it. But I felt that it would just make her more anxious. And I wanted her to try to put those things aside and try to still kind of live her life.
Probably the hardest thing was the wasting away of her body, and you know what the drugs were doing to her. You're looking from the outside in, and yeah, just very difficult to see your partner, you know, go through that change. And you know, I'd said to her 1,000 times, hey, I'd swap places with you in an instant.
Well, I think it's a little hard to grasp the meaning, you know, the severity of it. She did not feel well at all after her first treatment, so it really worried me. She had to go to the ER afterwards, and I think that's kind of when it really emotionally hit home to me that this is very, very serious.
Our first 3 doctor's visits, all 3 of the physicians said, don't get on Google, you know, stay offline, and trying to keep her off of that and out of that headspace, and, you know, out of that spiral was challenging for sure.
You know, you'd wake up in the middle of the night and you'd have your partner crying in bed, worried that they're going to die.
The midnight terrors.
And it was just the most horrendous feeling and hard thing to talk about with other people. The nuclear medicine doctor.
He was great.
He was just this amazingly eccentric man. I remember we went to visit him, and we went into his office, and just to describe him, he had these bushy eyebrows and this long hair, and really big hands and long fingers.
He looked like Sideshow Bob.
Yeah, and his desk was just full of these books, and we sat down to speak to him, and like he moved the books like to the side of the desk so that like we could make eye contact with him. It just his demeanor and how he spoke to us. It was a really good experience. That was probably the turning point for me when I met this doctor, that I sort of knew that it wasn't all doom and gloom. There was I think that was the first time I saw any light at the end of the tunnel.
A lot of friends reached out. She got a lot of care packages, a lot of flowers, all the things that means a lot in those times.
I know you don't realize like how much it really means. Like flowers have never meant more. Like they just show up at your door, and my whole day was better. And I'm like, I wish that I didn't know how people could make someone feel, but now I know moving forward for not if, but when I know somebody that goes through this, like I'm almost thankful that I know how to take care of them.
I haven't got a large circle of friends, but the people that I am friends with are like family.
Craig's mum, she was just a pillar of strength, particularly for me. She lives about an hour away from us, but she was there to take me to my first treatment.
What really helped us is being grounded and kind of centered around home. Honestly, it's one of the things that I see as a benefit and a net gain out of this. But we just got a lot of quality time like in our house.
I think it definitely brought us closer together, didn't it?
Yeah.
We definitely made us a lot stronger and resilient, and changed our perspective on everything. We definitely take a lot more care, just, with the kids and making sure we soak up all those little moments. It just makes you realise how fragile life is.
For the most part, I think our lives have changed for the better.
Absolutely.
I know we take better care of ourselves. We're more thoughtful with things, how you approach everyday things. You don't sweat the small stuff anymore because it's just not worth it.
And I feel like we're in the relationship, we're very in the infantile stages, and we learned about each other and what our strengths are and what each other give. So that was a good thing.
I agree. I think it was the diagnosis and going through the experience of treatment really, made our relationship evolve. And we became a lot more mature, emotionally mature as a couple. And it's still a growing process, I think, because you still have to maintain your care and your treatment. But I think we're in a much stronger place than we were when we first got the diagnosis. As far as Melissa researching things, it kind of morphed into researching her illness and all the technical things, and it morphed into finding other people who were in the same situation. So it became a support group for her too, which was a good thing. And I think that continues to this day to be her a good thing for her, because she's really taken that support group that she has, the people that she's made friends with and contacts with, and she's kind of given back to those to people who are going through the same experiences with lymphoma.
I felt like the only thing that would help me at the time was to connect with other people with the same diagnosis, and at the time we just couldn't find anybody. So it was Craig that actually suggested, why don't you just start a Facebook group and let them come to you? And that's exactly what I did, and then they did, and it was instantly like just all that stress just melted, and I just felt like I was you know, I found my people. So,
yeah. And all of a sudden you're meeting people. Oh, I've been 10 years NED,
Yeah.
20 years, 30 years. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you start hearing these amazing,
Yeah.
inspiring stories from these people. And then you go, well, hang on a second, it's not as bad,
Yeah,
you know,
it's such a
as
relief.
what I thought it was. So.
Yeah.
Researching stuff online. I think that I was just looking for any glimmer of hope, even if it came with like 50 bad things that I read. If I could find like 2 supportive things that made me feel better, like that was helpful.